Hi, I'm Andy with SoloLink, and maybe if you're like me, you've considered the idea of starting a business. And I want to share with you some things that I think that are going to be fun about the concept versus hard about it, because personally, over the last roughly 20 years, I've had 13 different business ventures. To me personally, one of the most fun things about starting your business is the very first dollar you ever make. Just the concept. It wasn't six figures, it wasn't $1 million. It was just the idea that I had an idea and I put it out in the world and someone actually paid me for that. And I believe it was less than $7, but the fact that I could get paid for my own ideas changed the game of what I thought I could do moving forward in my life. And as much fun as it is starting a business, there's also going to be some moments where it's hard. And one of the first things I want to really tell you about to prepare you is you're going to have to get comfortable walking into the unknown. You're not going to have all the answers. You're not going to have all the solutions. You're not going to have all the hows. And so getting comfortable boldly walking forward into that as an entrepreneur is one of the first steps you have to be ready to take. But back to the fun stuff when it comes to starting your own business. If you're into personal development, whether you read the books, you go to the events, you take the seminars, I know myself, I've done that many times, I believe firmly starting a business is the best personal development course out there. You're going to learn so much about yourself and others when you go through that process that no book, no seminar is ever going to give to you. Now, the second hardest thing about starting a business is a fun word: rejection. Actually, not a fun word, right? It's very vulnerable for us, but you're going to be putting yourself out there and your offers or services into the marketplace, and some people are not going to want to, quote unquote, partake of it, if you will. And so you have to get used to rejection. But here's the shining light in that is realize they're not saying no to you, the individual. They're saying no to the solution that you have at this moment. Because no doesn't always mean today. It might just mean no for now. Now, the third fun thing about being an entrepreneur, and this personally is one of my favorites, is the fact that you are not dependent on someone else dictating whether you should get compensated more. As a business owner, you get to go out into the marketplace and create your opportunities where you can will that pay raise that you might be thinking. Instead of asking for your review that's coming up in a few months, you get to go out each and every day and create more opportunity, thus create the pay that you receive as an entrepreneur. And the final, what I consider to be one of the most difficult parts of being your own boss and starting your own business is figuring out how to price yourself. How much to price your products and your services. Sometimes it can be a big divide that you may think you're worth so much, but what they're willing to pay might not match that. And vice versa, figuring out how to not underprice yourself where you're starving, right? You ever heard of the starving artists? Well, there's starving entrepreneurs out there. And it's such a pull and a drag to figure out what those differences are, because here's the thing, you almost want people to pause a little bit when you quote. If I've been in many conversations where when someone says yes too quickly, I realize like, wow, I almost want them to hesitate slightly. But I've also on the flip side been in great meetings where everything's going great, but they didn't pick me up. And this is old Andy looking back at Andy 10 years ago. I realized I underpriced myself, and by underpricing, they lost confidence in me. So wrapping all this up, what I do with my company SoloLink is we help solopreneurs and small business owners thrive online. So I invite you to check out our site to see how it can be a benefit to you at sololink.io. But regardless, whether you do or not, I'm encouraging you, go all in on your idea. Because here's the thing, when you're 85 years old, these are the stories you're gonna wanna tell, and these are the experiences you'll wish you had if you hadn't. Because if not, you're always gonna wonder, what if?